All right, everyone, this is the Thin Blue Line Outdoors Podcast, episode 40, the Big 4-0. We've had a blast today. We're here with Wildwood hog hunting here in Texas.
Texas Wildwood hog hunting.
It was absolutely a blast.
Oh my God.
Great.
Wow.
I have nothing but good things to say. Jesse and I were trying to think of a good word for this because it's not hunting. We're not going to say it's hunting.
It's not. It's not.
Mm-hmm.
It's not necessarily hunting, but it's not necessarily.
It's a unique experience.
Yeah, that's about it.
A very unique experience.
You can't put a word to it because it's not like you're sitting out in the stand. You're waiting.
It's
for
not free range.
hours.
It is a high. It's a not. I guess a high fence operation.
Essentially.
Is it grocery shopping on a redneck level?
Yeah, essentially.
Whoa!
Essentially.
We might have found our words.
Essentially, I mean it is. So essentially, I talked about this in some of the videos, kind of laid it up for yesterday, but essentially what it is it's a couple acre pen. I think he said 8 acres.
8 acres.
8 acres. High fence. He traps these hogs on his property, neighbor's property. They're trying to get rid of these hogs. He brings them in, puts them in the pen. And
It's called the honey hole.
The honey hole.
The honey hole.
Again, it's not. It's one of those things. These pigs are gonna be killed anyway. They want them gone. So this guy's making money on the side, having us rednecks from Illinois come down and hunt these things. And we can either go buy pork or we can go shoot pork. That's essentially what it is. So as Ryan said, redneck grocery shopping. That's the best way to put it. We count up all together. We've killed 13 hogs out of 5 of us. Like I said, complete blast. And it's so chaotic.
Different methods.
Yes,
like
very
it wasn't
different
just
methods.
all like.
And we're gonna break that down and talk about that. And we got almost every kill on camera.
Yeah.
Almost.
Which ones are we missing?
I think one of Grady's and some of the piglets.
Grady's headshot.
That's
camera.
it. That's it.
And my piglet.
I don't think
we
got Ryan's piglet. We got some of John's piglet.
We got all of John's shots.
Extend the footage a little bit.
John shot at a piglet maybe 12 times.
You're probably gonna hear some voices off screen, off podcast. That is
You better
Grady and
hear
John.
some voices off screen.
They
better be
we're
talking.
trying to get them to come in, but they didn't. That's a fine. I know both of them. That I've known Grady, and now I know John. They can't keep their mouth shut. They'll say something. I have a feeling.
We like it a lot.
So, but yeah. Anyway, we've had a blast, and because it's so, I can hear you fine. Yep, and it's been so chaotic. The way we're gonna do this is we're gonna have everybody just break it down on either their kill of a hog or what they witnessed because they were the first hand. If it was John or Grady's.
Well, let's talk about what time did we actually go out to
Woke
the
up at
honey
7.
hole?
We woke up at 7.
I mean, to the honey hole. What time did we go out there?
8.
8? We were at the honey hole? No, I think it was like more like 9, right?
Yeah.
And then what time were we done by? Like 9 to
2?
9:20, and then we came.
2.
to 2? Yeah.
Yeah, 2-ish. So
from 9 to 2 was just straight chaos.
Shots.
And it was organized chaos. We had planes and things like that, but just
I don't know if it was organized.
You
It
can-
was safe.
safe chaos is the
Gun
best.
safe.
Gun
chaos,
safe chaos.
But I wouldn't say safe because I mean, right about that. At least just
I was
screaming.
in control! Guys, wait until you see what Boom comes up with. We have got some.
We had some pigs,
amazing footage.
charging at us, and
God.
I'll be the first to admit it. Like first.
We'll get to it. We'll get to it.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll get to it.
All right, I
So,
will say it.
so we're
Just
gonna go.
wait.
So
Ryan's gonna go
much.
first. Ryan's gonna go first, and he's gonna talk about all the ones either he killed or he was a part of, with some commentary from Jesse and I.
Is he starting from the piglet?
I'm
Starting
starting
with
from the
piglet.
Grady's piglet.
Grady's piglet.
So we came up with this thing this morning because there was 5 piglets that the rancher wanted gone. He offered them us at a really good price. We said we'll take them. Get us warmed up. Welcome to Texas. So we got 4 of them yesterday, but we said, well, let's keep one there. We won't rush it. We'll keep one. We'll come in tomorrow. So we discussed the game plan. We said, you know what? Let's have a little bit of fun with this. Pistols only. So like, okay, we had a little thought about it, we had a debate about it, more thumbs up. So we all went in there with pistols. I was going to go in with the 500. I would have liked to.
Grady, what are you doing?
You just can't win this trick. You just
For
can't
those of
win.
you who can't see, Grady just like cracked open a beer and then it just spilled just all over himself, all over his pants.
Anyway.
So
Anyway.
I wanted one with the 500, and again, as Boom said, everything is on footage. I cannot wait, if anything, for this trip to be put together, because there's so much. You look like you pissed yourself, but there's so much to see. I think you will love it. Please like, share, subscribe, get on it, and wait for this to come out. So I went in there with the 500, and we had one piglet left. It was coming towards me to my left. You know, I did draw the 500 and I followed it for about 45 degrees. Gun safety being our #1 priority. I know the big fella was to the left of me, so I had to holster up my gun, pull away from that. But as it turns, I'm watching, and the piglet must have ran within 5 yards, like storming.
Dude, right next to you.
Boom. All I've seen next thing is boom. Pistol holstered, boom, boom. Cool as day, the sternest look on his face ever. The man looked angry.
And he had a camera in his left hand.
Oh yeah.
Let's give Grady the credit due here.
Camera.
Not only did he saw this pig, I mean it's a piglet, but it was charging. It wasn't charging. It was running at him.
Fast.
But he had a camera in his left hand.
Yeah.
And he pulled his sidearm, which I don't know what were you carrying, Grady?
40.
He's trying not to
So
talk.
Grady just singled to us. He was carrying a 45. So Grady's sitting there after Ryan sees his piglet, and he has the camera in his left hand. He pulls his 45 off his hip from the right hand and just boom, boom, done.
It's 2 great shots. I
Just
think
done.
2
Drop it.
headshots.
Oh, yeah.
The first one got the pig. You could see the impact, bang. The pig turns. Pig was gone, and somehow he's just got him, bang, drops the pig on the spot. So the pig got within 5 yards, and I think it fell maybe 7-8 yards away. Fantastic, cool as anything, and just bang, bang.
And we got that on camera.
On
didn't we?
camera.
Everything is on camera.
Yeah.
Yep.
So we move on from that. We got out the honey hole, we came back, and then what we did was, the game plan for this was we were going to go into the 8-9 acres as we discussed, and then the game plan was we were going to go 2 shooters, 2 3 shooters, and two
It was a little
records.
weird. I'm not gonna lie, but like when we first we sat at the mule,
I thought
we
it was
said
tough.
this is what we're doing, and I was like, yeah, that sounds like a good plan.
It-
And then when Boom and I started walking, I was like, man, we're kind of curving right
Yeah,
towards
it's not a
where
perfect square.
everybody's
Yeah,
going to
it
be
wasn't.
fucking shooting.
That's what we were assuming is a perfect square.
It was not a perfect square.
Yeah.
So as soon as Boom and I started walking, I said, buddy, they're going to shoot at us.
Yeah, but we didn't have to worry about that.
Yeah.
We didn't have to worry about that at all.
And John and I mean, we had conversations as well, and we had opportunities, didn't we? And there was several times, and you'll see this on camera, but we just thought it just wasn't safe, because we were thinking the same thing as them, except for we trusted them. We knew they
I'm
wouldn't
gonna
shoot us.
plug this in now. We were hunting a honey hole, 8 acres, but the whole time, everybody in that honey hole said, "Where's everybody else at?" Like it was completely safe. There was never like a shot towards another group,
No.
nothing like that. It was 100%. Hey, we're not shooting anywhere close that way. We don't know where they are necessarily, but we're like 90%
Yeah.
sure they're over there. We're not even shooting. that
And I'll be
way.
honest, I don't know about you guys. Like the first 10 minutes, I was nervous. I was like, oh man. But pretty quick, everyone was on the same page, and
Yeah.
safety had to be the #1 priority. And you'll see John pull back on 3-4 shots at all on film, just because of the. And I think there was a few shots that you had, John, which would never have got them. It was just
I
the
didn't know where
fact
they were.
we didn't know where he was, and it was just not worth the risk. So, but anyway, and this is on film. I think it's one of the best films that I've seen tonight.
So hold on. I'm sorry. We jumped a little bit. We went from Grady's piglet kill.
Yeah.
So then what happened? We went from
That's
Grady's-
what I'm fucking saying now, isn't it?
Jesse, okay, I'm going to
Dude,
pause on the podcast here. Jesse is drunk.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not. Don't even.
I'm gonna go from everything that I've
Yes.
done.
Ryan's gonna cover everything because we're gonna work on everything he was a part of, and then you're gonna go. They will be out
I know
of
we
order.
pre-game.
They'll be out of order.
We pre-talked about it.
Yeah,
I'm
and
not
you're
going in
fucking it
order.
up.
I'm just gonna go with what I see.
I'll just shut my mouth.
Thank you.
You tell me when I can talk again.
Hey, he is 30, so he does deserve.
Wow.
He does deserve to be this.
I've seen Jesse drunk. This is like the beginning. The beginning.
Not even close.
So anyway, yeah, and this is a really great video. I think it was a great shot, and I mentioned a lot about this on film. 40 yards, 50,
Maybe 30.
30 yards.
Definitely 200.
Yeah, 300 yards. 30 yards in front of us, the little pack of pigs. One came perfectly broadside, and he took this shot. And like when I say you can see the impact, you can just see the dust. Poof. It was a perfectly placed shot.
So so when you say see the dust, that pig had to be hanging out in the mud for a little bit, right? And like that's the dust you see.
No, you can see the dust bust through the shoulder. Like,
That's what I know what you mean, but like the
I
the
seen
mud dried up on them, and that's what the dust is,
Yeah,
right?
and I seen the impact when
I think it
the
hit the dirt behind it.
And
I
it
think
hit
completely.
Oh, that's what you think is
Oh, yeah.
that's the dust you see. I see what I thought when I saw the
I
video
propose.
was that there was dust,
Yeah.
like that pig was hanging in the mud, dried up, and when he fucking just smoked it, there was just
No, after seeing what his round did, I think it completely right through that animal and hit the dirt behind it.
So
Okay.
from what I seen the impact on
I
the
just may be
shoulder.
too drunk to understand. I don't know.
I seen the impact on the shoulder, and then I seen the bullet did go
So
right
says
through.
Boom anyway.
The bullet did go right through, and I seen the sands at the back pop up in excellent position. And within about 5 seconds, you'll hear me say this. It's dropped. I could hear that.
Mm-hmm.
I heard it, and then I could see it through the brush doing the death kick. What round was that with?
7.62 by 39.
7.62 by 39.
Federal Fusion though, American round.
You're really
American
in
round.
You need some fucking nasal spray, bud.
Don't do drugs, kids. No, brilliant. Filmed the whole thing. I really enjoyed being out with you this morning.
He was the second shot.
Mm-hmm.
I think so. I've got a shot on film.
No. He was the second shot, sorry.
Yeah.
See, I just
And whoever shot first, I think it was you, Jesse.
You were the first shot.
that was the first shot.
And if you want to lose your memory real fast, ladies and gentlemen, get yourself a bottle of this.
Not sponsored, but I could be.
He's open to suggestions. And I think that's on camera as well. We had the second boom, and that'll be Jesse's. But I really enjoyed and appreciated the conversations and being out there and filming your whole thing. I loved every single minute of it. So that was John's Harvest. I was picky, and Jesse had to have a word with me. I was being too picky. I've done this twice before.
Hey, finish story.
He didn't say you could speak. He's in control.
I'm in control.
We're gonna get to that.
You'll understand.
Oh, boys, this is.
But okay, so everybody else has already harvested a hog or two, and so we're sitting there. I'm filming Ryan at this point in time. I have 2 hogs down. And he's
Do you want to jump to Jesse? Because
No,
mine was the last
I
one.
know, but all I have to
Mine
say
was
is
the
that
last
like
one.
we
I have to say
kicked
that.
4.
So my question is,
Do you want me to say it or not say it?
I don't care if you say it.
We kicked 4. We kicked 2 groups of 4 hogs out of 2 different holes,
Yep.
and Ryan had the shot. I mean, like he
Oh.
could have picked a hog, done, deal, boom, done.
I could have had the shot this morning at
But
10 o'clock.
he was being so picky.
So here's my question, Ryan.
Go on.
Why were you being picky?
Yeah, so a couple of reasons. I've been to Texas twice before. My personal best was 2:45. I would have liked to have beat that. I understood that there wasn't anything over 2:45. Someone knew that. But I also did see a couple of nice ones that I sort of targeted. The other thing is, and Jesse's absolutely right, I could have had a pig down by 10 o'clock. I could have had a pig at 10:30, 10:45, 11. I could have had pigs down. But I just don't think I enjoyed it so much. I could have walked that honey hole all day. I could have. The adrenaline, seeing the pigs, listening to you guys, hearing the shots, having conversations and seeing the action and pigs storming and one-on-one, it's us versus them. I mean, I had to hunt this morning, I was on my own. It was like, man, this is me or them, life or death. I was just playing out so many situations, and it's just situations that you don't get to do all the time, and it was really special. So I could have done it, I could have done loads of pigs. Jesse mentioned about, there was a couple of situations where we actually put a stalk on a group of 3-4 hogs in water pits. I had a shot with Boom, I'll talk about that as well. I'll right over them, but I just don't know. It's just something about that sitting duck. I mean, they're there, the 5 yards are sitting there, they're trying to have a nap or something. I'd feel really bad if someone walked into my house and tried to smoke me while I was having this. Let's have it one-on-one, let's, man to man.
I get that. I completely understand the, they don't know you're there. You're right on top of them. They're resting because, I mean, by that time it was hot. It was afternoon and they need to rest and get in the water to cool off. But at the same time, that's probably the most ethical kill you'll get. Because after that, they're just running.
Wait until you see me video. Wait until you see.
He did make a good shot.
I mean, he made a
My
great shot.
video,
But
like the way it happened for me was perfect for me because that had my adrenaline so fucking Boom said the eyes turn black. But that was what I wanted, it was the hunt that I wanted.
hey, who was the controller for your show?
You gotta skip. Just go to if you kill this.
Anyway,
Okay,
we've jumped on. Yeah.
So it got to my kill. We're skipping forward. I was the last kill, skipping right the way to the end. Jesse had the words. Everyone was getting thirsty.
You know what the word was? It was like, dude, you're being way too picky. The big hog you want, I think, may already be dead. But if it's not dead, it's hiding deep.
Mm-hmm.
We've seen like 12 pigs just running from this time.
Yeah.
Shoot one.
Yeah.
Okay? Shoot one.
No.
We're in Texas. It's fucking hot. I want a beer.
Yeah.
Shoot a pig.
And that was the motivation speech. I said, okay. So Jesse started filming me, and I literally.
We literally oh
Yeah.
my god. Okay, sorry, you tell a story. I can't.
Thanks, lad. So he gave me this big speech, and he was filming me for like 15, 25, 30 minutes, whatever it was. He gave me this big speech. He said, okay, I'm going to go down there and meet up with them guys. 30 seconds after the camera left me, I walked out onto the fence line and bang, I had a pig facing me at about 50 yards. I had my GoPro, so everything's on camera. Next thing, it comes storming at me, and what you'll see is
Storming?
you'll see the gun go like this, but I have the safety on, so it gets even closer. So my heart's pounding. So I put the safety on. I take a shot, really good shot. I'd kill 2 pigs, both of them one shot each, dropped them on the spot. Well, you'll see the bit. Do you want me to talk about that?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so I've killed this pig, right? And the next thing, what I wasn't seeing is the pig that was behind my pig, because I was so focused on this pig in front of me. But what it did was it went into the woods when we reviewed the footage. It went into the woods, and I shit you not, this pig came barreling through the woods within, I'd say 5 yards, but
it was closer. Bro.
I want to say 2-3 yards, and I don't even know how to describe the noise or the. I don't know.
Just like. So, I'll reverse a little bit. I'll reverse a little bit. So, we sat there, and then so John and I are with Ryan, and we're like, dude, you gotta get a pig, all right? Like, we're thirsty.
I got
It's hot. We need a pig. Get your pig down. Well, at that point in time, Boom and Grady came back in because Grady wanted to get with his bow, and we saw them guys coming in. So we had this game plan where Ryan would go set up in one corner, and Grady would set up in another corner, and we'd just push them their way. And I told Ryan, like, hey, go up there. I'll go meet up those guys. We'll tell them the plan. It's perfectly fine. It'll be great. Well, by the time I walked down to Boom and Grady, Ryan shot his hog. And the next thing we know, we hear, "Whoa!" And as soon as we heard the "whoa," we're like, oh man, he like entered this hog, and the hog's just charging up.
Tearing him up.
So we're yelling, Ryan, are you okay?
I couldn't speak.
Ryan, are you okay? And he, not a word,
couldn't
not a
speak.
single word. So we're like kind of charging up there, like, oh man, he might be like eating a little bit. And then we get up there, he goes, I'm fine. This hog charged me, man.
I couldn't speak the first time they asked me. It was quiet. I had to draw my shotgun, and I had an eye on 3 pigs right in front of me. But man, when I tell you it was 2 yards, it came barreling out of the woods. I was terrified, and I think it's one of the funniest videos I've ever seen. So anyway, the lads rejoined the group. And then, we're talking about it, I've seen the pig, and the pig's flopping, and obviously it's a dead flop, I knew that. So I pulls out my 10, and I also got finger off the trigger, barrel facing away from everyone. And then all I could hear was about 4 or 5 boys saying, Ryan, stop, Ryan, stop. I said, and then I was trying to think of something really funny to say, but I think the funniest thing I said was, I'm in control! And then, but even funnier, like when Boom explained, he said, right, your eyes black. He said, your eyes up to your black. The adrenaline was so high. Like, I just had a life and death. I think he said, I've had a life and death experience. His pig starts kicking, so I've just got me 10. I wasn't going to shoot, my finger was off the trigger, but I just thought, this motherfucker, this wakes up, I am putting it to bed. I just didn't want to take no risk, but it's so funny. You'll have to see the video, so please like, share, subscribe. That was my one more shot that I had. Boomer called me over. There was 3 pigs, I think, sitting in like a little water hole. Perfect shot for the 500. They've come over.
It was the perfect shot for the 500.
It was the perfect shot. They were all sitting there. Again, I'm creeping up on them. They make a move, and it looks like on the video I've shot like, well, it looks like 5 yards.
Way
to the
high.
right,
Way high.
like too high with the 500. So I missed that one, halted that one, but got right back on.
What do you
the
think
road.
happened there? I think I know, but I want you to explain what happened.
Fuck
I mean,
knows.
if I could put my input in, I have no fucking clue.
Fuck knows.
I think you panicked.
Fuck knows.
I don't think you were ever on the hog when you pulled the trigger.
Probably not.
Ooh,
Probably not.
calling it out.
But
Being honest.
I got to pop a shop off with the 500 Smith & Wesson, which is a great day for me. And then just got right back on the road. Said, okay, let's go. Boom, got right back on it. So that
I mean,
that
he did
was,
hop right back on the horse.
that
Smoked
was
some
my
hog.
story. I loved every single minute of this trip. I can't even put it into words. Just everything, the hunting, the chilling, the hanging out, the talking, everything has been more than what I expected.
Jesse?
On to this
Oh, it's
guy
my
who can't
turn?
shut
You
up
have-
now.
you
can
have
speak
permission.
now.
Oh, I have the permission to talk now?
Yep.
Wow.
Happy birthday, Jesse.
Hey,
Big 30 today.
Birthday boy.
First of all, I gotta throw this out there. I'm not drunk. Throwing out.
Okay.
I'm buzzed. I ain't drunk.
Okay.
We'll throw it out. Anyway.
Can you do field sobriety after this?
No.
I'd love to see that. I can't
that's-
believe you cops.
I'll
do
rest
that.
my case, Your Honor.
That's all we need, right? Anyway, gonna talk about my day. So, we went out and, it is my 30th birthday, so everybody's pumping it up really big. To me, it's another day, but I get first shot, right? And so Boom and I split off, and we go. How we first originally planned it was we had Grady and the Cody that works on the ranch. Shout out to Cody, who is an officer.
Yeah.
All right, Cody officer. They walked in the middle, and then John. I'm sorry, I don't know his last name. Cody officer. What do you want me to call him? Stop giggling over there.
Deputy, but
Okay, sorry, I don't know the ranking. Cody deputy walked through the middle, and then John and Ryan were walking on what we called probably the right side, the north side, and then Boom and I are walking on the south side. And so we're following this fence line, and we get up, and then finally Boom and I reach this corner, and we haven't seen any pigs yet. Then we get over this little ridge, and there's some pigs down the line from us. But at the same time, it's like we don't know where everybody else is, so we can't necessarily shoot. And then we finally say, like, if you can see fence behind the hog, you can shoot.
Mm-hmm.
And Moon comes up with this game plan. Great game plan, by the way. He goes, "Hey, let's get in the brush because Ryan and John are gonna be moving them this way. Let's get in the brush, and we'll be right for it, right?"
Called it to the
I mean,
T.
he called to a T. And when I pulled up my 30 out the first time, I had a couple that were all I saw was fence line behind them up, but I was still, at that point in time, I was still pretty unsure. So I didn't shoot. And then, they started coming towards us. And I had not even a Ryan moment because I had it first. There was one running right towards me, and it got to within 7 yards. I'll admit it, 7 yards probably.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Oh no, it's charging me! Holy shit!" And I backed out, and it just took off the other way. It didn't even know we were there. It just saw me move when I freaked the hell out, and then it ran away from us.
20 yards.
I mean, yours ran right by your feet, so you had a reason to be a little terrified. Mine was 7 yards away from me and went poof.
Here's the thing. I don't know why you were backing towards me. You don't want to have the rifle out.
Yeah, you got behind
This is
you.
videotape. I'm like, what am I supposed to do?
I was looking for a tree. They tell you to look for a tree. That's what John told me to do, is like look for a tree.
Yeah.
So in that moment, I'm like, I got to keep an eye on the hog, but then look for a tree at the same time. I'm going to back that ass up. That's what I'm going to do. So anyway, that was my first encounter with a pig. And I was like, at first I was like, man, I just blew my opportunity. But I remembered,
I ain't going nowhere.
we're in a honey hole. Like, it really isn't going anywhere.
No.
And so then we ended up circling down and meeting up with Grady and Cody. And then we kicked them up. And they were in a goalie. We kicked them up. And there was one shooting lane. I was right in the path. There was one shooting lane. I think it might have been 30 yards, I would have
I'll give or
guessed.
take,
Yeah. And they were just running across this. And I had a couple... I already had my gun on them in a different spot, right? And then they boom saw us and they started running. And we knew where they were going to run, so I moved my gun and my scope to that spot, my sight to that spot. You may be on something. Anyway, so when I was sitting there, I saw there's woods and there's this lane in the middle of these woods. It's one of them trails, and I'm sitting there thinking like, man, I gotta make sure I'm doing well by this, you know. And one hog runs by, and I see it in my scope. I'm like, okay, I think I could do this. The second hog runs by, I'm like, I led it right and just pulled the trigger and boom.
It was a great shot.
Great shot.
It was a
It
great
really
shot.
was.
Cody the outfitter has said it's the most beautiful shot he's ever seen. 200 yards and round a tree, did a curlicue and boom.
I would say it's right up there. I would say best shot of the day was either that one or Grady's pistol shot.
Yeah.
They're up there.
I mean, yeah, 'cause they were both running at that point.
If I'm
right?
honest, Grady, it was a fantastic shot, but for 30 odd 6 with them running pigs, and even at speed.
They
I
were
think
full
that
gal.
was-
They weren't like they were moving through that brush.
I think that was a
Best rifle shot
fantastic shot.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was impressive.
Yeah.
Yeah, it did what it did.
And hey, no, we need to talk about this because we talked about this in the podcast before. You were
We
worried.
did.
You were worried about your shooting ability.
Dude,
with
I
the
was
30-06.
super worried. It was even. We sighted in our guns yesterday. I mean, we shot and I put some on target. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't where I was.
Yeah,
like,
you-
I wasn't super concerned, but at the same time, I was like, they need to be standing still. I need to be like have my moment and stuff. But then when you're in the moment, it just did it, and I don't know what that.
That was good because I could tell you weren't 100. Like when I've seen you shoot slug gun, when you were out there deer hunting, you're like, I'm pretty confident. Like you weren't there yet.
Well, I think
rifle.
this is what I'm
New
saying, and I
rifle
think I've
for you.
told Ryan, I told John this when we were walking around. I'm more confident with my bow than I am my rifle.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just straight
Well,
up.
you had more-
I think I'm just
Well, you had
more
never
confident.
until today. You had never. Well, I guess you had one with your.
But I think I'm more confident with my bow than I am a gun. Just straight general. Like, not even my rifle, but my shotgun and everything.
Yeah, but how many? Because where you live at, how many times have you shot your bow compared to a gun?
Oh, I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you're right there.
You
I
shot,
can shoot.
You've shot way more.
I got about 40, 50 yards in the yard I can shoot. You're right.
Yeah, and you can't do that with a gun. One thing.
I mean, I could, but the neighbors may make some calls and
Yeah.
be a little awkward.
Mm-hmm.
Next neighborhood party.
Well, anyway.
Anyway.
If you want to talk.
So this hog's running, shoot it, and at first I'm like, man, we even see it on video. Like, did we hit it? Did I hit it? We don't know. Next thing we know, we hear a hog fall. Great shot, done deal. After that, we come in for the afternoon because we're chasing these hogs and they're running around in this 8-acre little plot, and by that point in time, they've been running a real long time. If they get too hot, they need to find water, they need to rest, they don't sweat. And so we said, hey, let's back out. At that point in time, we already had 3 hogs down. Well, no, at that point in time, you haven't shot your hog yet.
No, I
right?
did. I did at that time.
Okay. So we had hogs down, and we said, hey, let's get them out. Let's get them up here and clean. We'll figure it out and give them some time to rest, had lunch. When we went back in, at that point in time, I wasn't sure. I was like, hey, because the hog I shot was small. I mean, it was a smaller one. 115 was my first one.
Okay.
And I was like, hey, do I want to take my bow out? I want to take my rifle back out. And one time I said, what's my checklist? You can go back and listen to the whole podcast. I said I want to have one on the rifle and I want to have one on the bow. So, that was the decision. Had one on the bow. Took my bow out, went up on a stand, and I was up there 5 minutes and had hogs running by me. But the problem was they were running by me. They never stopped, never had a shot opportunity, nothing that was going to be sticking or ethical or anything like that. So Boom had already shot his hog with the
I was
bow.
2. Yeah, I was 2 down at this point.
And we'll get to that. But so I'm up in the stand. Next thing I know, Boom says, hey, come down.
Yeah.
So I get down, we go in, and there was a mud hole where we already kicked up a hog. Earlier this day, we kicked up a hog out of that mud hole without knowing the hog was in the mud hole.
real close.
That was real close. That was real funny.
Yeah.
And so we get over there, and there's some hogs in that hole, and as I'm walking in, they say, it's the perfect bow shot. I said, yeah, it is. Walking in, and pull my bow back, and the first hog sees me, but there's a bunch of sticks in the way, so I can't shoot that one. So it sees me and takes off. And then so I'm like, oh fuck, here we go. Like there's 2 more. At that point in time, we thought maybe 1 more hog in there. So get a little closer, try to get around them twigs, and that second hog takes off. And I'm like, no, I just missed my opportunity. And as I take 1 more step forward, there's a 3rd hog in there. As I'm drawing back, I see it, whap it 10 yards, and as it's running, we see 2 wounds. So this hog was the one Grady shot earlier in the day with his 20 Savage, 220 Savage. So Grady shot it earlier in the day with his 220 Savage, and we couldn't find it. So he made the hit, and it was a little bit forward on the shoulder. No. Sorry. The hit was face on, went through kind of his.
It followed the skull. The skull out the shoulder.
Yeah.
That's what ended up happening.
So it popped out the shoulder. So when I hit it, we see it running, and it looks like that I made a really front shoulder hit. And so we're seeing it, man, I made a bad hit, and this is going to be...
I thought, I'll be honest with you, I thought it was bad, but I was seeing where the bullet exited. I didn't see where your arrow entered. That's what I was seeing.
Right. And so, but everybody, it was you, me, and Grady, we all said that was a forward hit. Like, that's what we thought. I thought I hit the shoulder blade. We got on some blood. We got on blood real quick.
Honestly, so, spoiler alert, out of the 3 pigs that were shot with the bow today, yours the only one that bled. We didn't blood trail mine, we didn't blood trail Grady's at all.
These pigs are just, face shot that ripped through its shoulder, bow shots with 3 bows in it, with 3 arrows in it, no blood. I mean, how tough are these critters?
They're insane, dude. I mean, I can't. They've taken so many hits today,
Yeah.
and like not
Good
even
hits.
not even a
Good
bad
hits.
way, like
Good hits.
good hits, and they're still just running. And
You
you're
know-
like, wow.
You know
I
what?
mean, you look at a whitetail. The shot Grady had on a whitetail, done.
Blew its head off.
Done. The shot you had with your bow on a whitetail, done. These boars, man.
You know-
It's a different game.
One thing I appreciate about your bow hunt is I like to get in a big experience. I got to track, and you guys were ahead of me, but as I was walking through, I
Well,
seen
there
it.
was one time where, so we were following the blood trail, and then all of a sudden we get right on the Boom's bow kill, and we're like, wait, are we following this wrong?
Yeah,
wrong blood
threw us
trail?
off for a second.
We were like, oh,
Yeah,
but then
that-
all of a sudden we found another blood trail from the opposite direction. We're like, okay, we
See, I
got it.
didn't see your pick on the floor. But I ended
To
up,
be honest, we'll go for it.
yeah, I ended up picking up a blood trail. I thought, okay, let me follow this blood trail. Really nice blood trail, really thick, bright blood. Followed it, came across Jesse's arrow, and I thought that was really cool. Picked the arrow up,
Yeah, we
followed the
missed
blood
it.
trail.
We
It's a good
missed
thing
the
you
arrow.
found
Missed
Yeah,
it.
we missed it.
So I found it, broadhead intact, full of meat, followed the blood trail, and that led me to you guys, it led me to the pig. And that was cool to me. I got to do some tracking with John's pig. We got to drag that pig out ourselves. I just, the whole experience, man, I'm telling you, I've had a blast. So I got to share a little bit of your bow kill as well, and it's boss that you got one on a
I'm not gonna lie. I wish I would have had the chance in that stand.
Yeah, but
Where
I mean,
they
there's
just-
nothing
they-
you can do about that.
I was in this corner stand, and like, I mean, within 5 minutes of me getting in there, there's pigs running by you. The problem is they're always running. I mean, just running. So I could not get a shot. Not at all.
No.
The first shot opportunity came within that mud hole.
Mm-hmm.
So that was your third pig, 3 pigs?
Yep.
Yeah, I got the piglet the day
First
before,
day.
and then I got the 30-06 with it running, and I got the bow with it.
So 1 pig for every decade of your life.
Hey.
Congratulations. 3 pigs, 30 years old, baby.
Uh-huh. No, and one thing Jess and I were talking about earlier today. So when I started hunting with Jesse, you were not a good archery shot.
I
mean,
I wasn't a good
4
shot.
decades now.
us, yeah,
I was not.
Yeah.
And I mean that's just being honest.
yeah. And now through the years we've shot, I've been with him on several bow harvests, whether I was actually witnessed and filmed it, or I was hunting in the same neck of the woods. Like, so it was awesome to see him. Like, he made a great shot. It was a long shot when we ended up seeing it. I mean,
Yeah.
couldn't make a better shot.
It's my 4th harvest on my bow. That's
yeah.
it.
Yeah, it was awesome. And you like you said on the podcast, you said 30-06. Well, you achieved it.
And I was so worried about 30-06. I mean, I really was. And I never thought it'd be a running kill.
It was
Because
impressive.
I was like, hey, my 30-06, like, if it's standing still, I'm scared. Like, am I gonna actually be able to get out of my head and do the shot? And then it was a running kill, man. And
Yeah.
that made me very happy.
Yep.
Brilliant.
Yep.
All right, Boom. What'd you do today?
All right.
What
well,
did
Did you
get
do
up
anything
to?
I
today?
did do a couple things today. Number one, we did skip. In between that one that Grady had shot that Jesse ended up killing. Grady nailed one. Actually the biggest one of the day.
Oh, right in between the eyes.
186 pounds, which that's crazy. So he shoots a bigger pig, frontal shot, square, punctures that skull, kills it. I mean, dead right there. And then the smaller pig though, it travels along the skull plate, which it happens. Like at law enforcement, we hear about gun injuries that somebody gets shot in the head and it doesn't penetrate the skull, it follows an exit. Weird stuff happens like that. You just never know when that bullet enters the body. You really don't know what it's going to do. You think you know. You have an idea what it's supposed to do, but it doesn't do that always. So anyway, so at this point, so he got one. So again, Jesse got the first one. Then John got one. Then I was up. And yeah, I wasn't going to take that running shot. It was impressive that Jesse did that, but I'm like, yeah, I'm not. So
Like I said, hey, the Cody, the outfitter that works here, said it was the Shot he's
I was gonna do
received.
that. So anyway, we chased him a little bit. Couldn't get on him. We ended up getting him in this area, and I actually went up to the water hole. We ended up killing several pigs out of. And it's funny because in the video, as I'm shooting farther, 40 yards probably at this pig, and I was waiting for it to stop. You can see a pig 10 yards from me, in front of me in the water hole that we all missed. But anyway, I picked a nice pig out, 169 pounds, ended up weighing. Made a great 30-06 shot. That was my first shot, or my second, I guess, because I got the pig over. But that 30-06 was brand new to me. I'm a couple years old now, but I never went hunting with it until this trip. So 2 pigs with my 30-06. Decided to enroll myself. I was pretty pumped. Aimed both good shots. It was heart and lungs. It ran 20 yards and died or something like that.
Not even. So give yourself some credit.
So yeah, I was pumped about that. And like I said, Jesse, I'm having user recorded. So I got myself, Grady's right behind me, and then Jesse's behind Grady, and we're going. And we walked within 5 yards of this pig when it jumped up.
Oh my gosh, man!
Yeah.
So we're sitting there and I think it was after your shot, right?
Yeah, because we're focused on we're gonna go.
Yeah. So Boom shot this pig, and we're going to go harvest it, get it checked out, and there's this little gully there, like a little mud pit. And we're just kind of walking, not even paying attention, nothing. All of a sudden, we're going past this gully, and there's a little mud pit in there, and this is actually where I had my bow kill.
Yep.
Right. And we get right on it, and then all of a sudden this pig jumps out, and it's 2-3 yards away from Boom. And you know what Boom did? Nothing. You know what Ryan did when this pig was 2-3 yards? Screamed his ass off. You know what I did when the pig was 7 yards from me? Moved out of the way. So
it was fun. It was cool being that close.
It was fantastic. We were like, holy shit, what the fuck? And it just.
But so anyway, we found my pig. Grady and I ended up helping them. We took some help, take some hogs back and stuff. And after that, we came back and during the whole process, because Grady ended up getting his pigs. During the whole process, I'm like, man, I had a couple bow shots. I didn't have my bow. So I'm like, you know what? I was on the fence about trying to get one with my bow or not on the way down here. I'm like, no, I can do this. I can definitely get one with my bow. Then I brought my bow. So the plan was, if I remember right, John got in a tree stand because he wasn't sure if he was going to get one or not. Jesse got in a tree stand because he hadn't got his bow harvest yet, and Ryan was still trying to get his first pig at that point in time. Grady and I were still hunting for 10 minutes, 15 minutes, something like that. And boom, we see movement in this little ravine type thing. And we creep up, and we kept up within 10 yards, and we actually stayed within them for a few minutes because there's 4 of them in there. We only thought there's 3 at first. And the one I ended up shooting, which ended up being my biggest hog, we were unsure. I had a clear shot, but I'm like, I think that's the vitals. I'm not 100% sure. Finally, after a few minutes, we're like, okay, I can see his head. Okay, that means that's the vitals right there. Boom. Ended up shooting. I'm shooting a 600 grain arrow, my elk arrow, with a iron well wide cut broadhead. I honestly, if you told me I was going to shoot a perfectly good lung shot with that, I'm like, oh, it's going to blow through it. No doubt about it in my mind. They are tough. I made a good shot. If you asked me, hey, would you trade anything on your shot? I won it. Double long shot. Got up. You could tell it's a good hit right away. He got up. And he was kind of actually stared off Grady there for a while. And I was hurry up knocking. He ended up taking off. And we could see. The arrow was. It was like fletching deep almost. Which I have short draws, so my arrows aren't too long. But we're like, that's a good hit. And I turned to Grady, I'm like, that looks like a good hit to me. And Grady's like, yeah, that's perfect. No blood. And again, before we started blood trialing, Ryan had his miss with his 500 Smith & Wesson, which is entertaining. We had a good laugh about that. But we started looking for this pig, and no blood at all. And I'm like, I know. I mean, obviously it's hit. It was a good shot. What the hell? I end up hearing something, which Grady had heard it too, and he actually saw it, and it's in a brush. And it's not happy, but it's dying. You could hear it gurgling. Decided to go ahead and put another arrow in it, which actually my first backup shot. I don't know if maybe I pulled it up or if I hit a twig, but I ended up going right over its back, not touching it. Second shot, I made a perfect lung shot again. Once they clean the pig, you can see how both arrows. I mean, there's no lungs left.
Mm-hmm.
Tough, man. Tough. And that arrow didn't penetrate all the way. I did see when they were butchering it that one of my arrows went through and hit the opposite shoulder blade. So that would be why that arrow didn't penetrate. But the other arrow, it would have been the first arrow. It should have penetrated all the way through, in my opinion. I understand if it's not going to go all the way through, hit the opposite shoulder and penetrate. Well, even a deer, sometimes it won't do that. And the pigs are known for a bigger shoulder blade. So I get that. But, man, they're tough. Real tough animals. But, yeah, I got my second hog with my bow. Ended up being 183, so 3 pounds shy of Grady's.
So hold on. What was your checklist for this hunt? What did you want to accomplish?
Wanted to get at least one with the 30-06.
Did that.
Did that, and other than that, I didn't know.
You had one with the
my
bow.
bow was iffy. I was iffy on the bow, so I didn't really set it as a goal. I talked about it. I'm like iffy on the bow. I'm just gonna wait and see.
Mine was 30-06 and a bow. Check those off.
Yep.
And what was yours?
Slug gun 500 bow. Didn't do a single hunt with the bow. Had one shot with the 500. Slug gun headshots. I got one pig and a piglet.
Yep. And then I kind of got a bonus kill. So I had help though. I know Grady probably doesn't want to talk about it, but we're going to.
100%.
Yeah, so we after we got mine, Grady's like, "Oh, I can make this like good with a bow. Like this is gonna be good." We ended up getting Grady his bow, and stocked up pretty close to the same area that I got mine at. And honestly, playing back the footage, shot looked good. It really did. Ended up being more of a gut shot, and I think Grady and I talked about it. Sounds like the pig moved right when he shot. So, and what weird thing is, and we still don't have this figured out, but I know his bow's a hard hit inside of a gun. It got very little penetration, so I don't know what that's about. Other than we did feel that gristle today,
We did feel gristle.
but and he was shooting a fixed blade head, but it did not get very good penetration. I mean, 6 inches or less, I'd say. So anyway, so the way this works is, it's $150 if you hit a pig. Period.
Yep.
If you don't find a pig, so we're like, oh, okay, all hands on deck. We need to get this pig. First thing, we don't want an animal to suffer. Number one, and number two, obviously, hey, we paid. This is like redneck grocery shopping. We paid for it. We need to get it. So we sent these guys to go back and get their guns. Because Grady and I jumped it once, and Grady had a shot on it, but we weren't for sure if that was the pig. So we weren't 100% sure. Hindsight, looking back, it definitely was the pig. We were getting ready to back out, and actually Grady's like, I think that's blood. Yep, it's blood. So it jumped out, and Grady shot underneath it, but like it was coming right at him outside. Understandable. So anyway, I ended up jumping it again. Didn't know it was the pig at the time. We had Grady set up in a stand. Grady ends up seeing the pig. What I didn't know is Grady saw where it went. I didn't know that. And Grady and I talked about it before. Hey, we see this pig, just get it down.
Shoot it.
You know, that's the plan. So anyway, I happened to be checking the water hole where it originally came from, because I'm like, this is smart. If more like it's gonna go back to here because it feels safe. Grady knew it was there. I didn't know that. So he's flanking around the side, trying to sneak up on it. I pop up. I'm like, oh, there it is. Camera here. Pull out my Smith & Wesson. First shot, perfect. Gets up, boom. Shoot it a second time. Cut it on film. I was very impressed with the 45.
I was impressed with your 45 too.
I didn't think it would drop it, because I just said I got 2 rounds in it. I know they were good placement shots, but I don't know how they did. And Jesse's like, oh, it's dead right over here.
It's right over there.
So it worked out good. So we got some meat for the freezer. So it was a joint effort on that one.
How many pounds of meat? I know they say typically for pigs you get about 50%. we harvested 13 pigs, and as you just said, our biggest
Well,
one was
we have-
180 odd pounds.
We have 4 150 quart coolers, right?
Yeah.
All 4 are completely filled.
Completely
Just filled.
jammed.
Completely filled.
How many pounds would you
and
guess?
we're taking,
At least 700.
yeah. So 4 completely filled coolers. So we're gonna have plenty of meat, and then we're taking home 8 heads. I think 8 heads. So I'm gonna try to do some European mounts for people. So yeah, we had. I can't say it enough, guys. Man, we had an absolute blast. Absolute blast. You done, Jesse?
I gotta pee.
I got okay. Gotcha.
Sorry, do you want to finish?
No, you good.
Podcast ended by P.
You can
He's just fell down the stairs.
up the stairs.
He's
Wait.
just fell up the
Why are
stairs.
you going upstairs? There's no
I
bathroom
know.
upstairs,
The
man.
toilet's downstairs, Jess.
If you pee up there, don't do it on the green sleeping bag.
Do it on John's bed.
Oh, we're gonna have to end it on that, guys. Like I said, Jesse's not drunk, but this is podcast 40. Texas Wildwood hunting. We had such a great time, guys. We're definitely gonna be back. Check it out. This is gonna be a good podcast and good video series. Appreciate it, man. You got anything?
Listen. I appreciated every single person on this trip. I have had a ball. Honest to God, I can't say enough. But like Boom says, chaotic. It was planned. It was organised. It was messy at times. It was fast. It was fast paced all the time. We came for what we wanted, and our goal was meat. And to come home with 7, and it looks so fresh, and I can't wait to help with make sausages, the European mounts, and the memories from this trip. I've been to Texas twice before, and I had a blast. I had an absolute blast. So thank you to everyone. Thank you for listening, and like, share, subscribe, then Blue Line Outdoors.
Appreciate it. See ya.